Hello people! Today we are off on an adventure. No, we're not. Well, we talked about we are off to a aquatic shop to go and do a store tour. So let's go see what we can find and let's go for a drive. It's not the closest shop in the world, but it is a good one. So I think so anyway. So we're going to go and meet the owner that I've spoken to a few times, and yeah, let's go see what happens. See you in a bit. Okay, hello everybody. I am at Little Fish. She's just behind me. Sorry, wobbly camera. It's everywhere. I've got the right shakes. Okay, so let's go and take a look and let's go meet the owner, and yeah, let's see what's in store for us today. Okay, so let's go. Hello.
Hey, how are we doing?
I'm very well.
Really pleased to have you here today, and all you viewers watching.
Okay.
Really exciting stuff coming.
Right, well, what do you want to show us?
Right.
Where should we start?
Let's start with the goldfish.
Let's start with the goldfish. We love a bit of goldfish.
Goldfish, here we are.
Oh no, we love goldfish.
Very cute little friendly things. There's a lot of stigma around them. They used to be the only fish that was available for cold water at one point, and you were lucky to get 2 or 3 years out of them. As you can see, they do grow rather large. A lot of people don't see them this big because they're not given the space to grow.
Yep.
So there's a lot of myths surrounding them. Things like the 3-second memory.
Mm-hmm.
What was I just talking about? No, I'm just kidding. Their memory really isn't that bad, but it is short term. So they can remember quite a few things. For example, to go to the top to get fed.
Yeah.
That's why they come up to you. So a 3-second memory wouldn't allow for that, would it?
No, it wouldn't. Have a look then.
Lots of different varieties and colours. So we have the Oranda with the crown around the face. We've got the Ryukin that have the pointy little nose. And even the eggfish, also known as lionhead or ranchu, which have no topping at all. There's also a big black morn in there. If you'll come up. Somewhere, where are you? He's at the back, he's just there. Back left.
Oh yeah, we've got him.
You just see him? With the big googly
There he
eyes.
is.
And there's some youngsters in here as well. They obviously sell a lot faster than the other ones. Very popular little fish. So cute, aren't they?
They are.
A lot of people say when you talk about goldfish, especially as a first time keeper, the larger the body of the water, the better, because obviously they're very pollutant, which is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And I do find it is easier to keep in a slightly smaller tank, 2 or 3 initially,
Yeah.
until they grow out a bit more and then upgrade as they grow.
Yeah.
I do find in a big tank, 2 or 3 little tiny fish just look very lost in there.
Yeah.
And it's seems a little bit daft, but obviously we don't want people buying little tanks and staying in that for more than a year, because if they stay in that, they barely get 2 or 3 years out of them. So it is good to definitely upgrade and give them the space.
Okay. Lovely.
You might get a bit of backlash from that. Not everybody agrees.
It's all right. It's fine. We like a little bit of controversy occasionally.
Yeah, a bit of a debate.
So what have we got down here then?
So
as we're
in
on
here
this
we
road?
have cute little axolotls.
Oh yes.
It's very strict that they are kept at a cooler temp. So we try to keep ice bottles in the sun.
Yeah.
Keep them nice and cool during the summer. We do actually have a cooler on the way. Because it's getting quite laborious switching there.
Yes, they don't last long, do they? I know I've tried with
No.
mine, and it's like, you know, you're lucky to get half hour, 3/4 an hour out of the bottle, and then it's gone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they are showing symptoms of heat trauma.
Yeah.
You can see little bits of milky patches on that, and
Yeah.
that is from being overexposure to the hot side. So I'm not going to hide that from anybody.
No,
We are going to fix it.
that's fine. That's fine.
Bless them.
Okay.
So aside from the goldfish, like I said, that used to be the very old-fashioned thing. That was the only cold water fish you could get. You can now get temperate fish. Let's show you the selection. Depending on your local fish store you visit, they should have a small selection of temperate or subtropical fish, they often call it, which is fish that live indoors that don't need a heater and won't grow too large either. So there's many barbs, danios, minnows, even little catfish to choose from. And unlike the goldfish, they can live with other fish. So you'd be able to have, for example, danios with barbs or platies and catfish with minnows. Whereas with the goldfish, they always try to eat smaller species and
Yeah. Anything that fits in the mouth.
yeah, and anything that is too robust to fit in their mouth often takes advantage of the goldfish's slow movements and ends up nipping their fins.
Yeah. And you get tail damage and whatever else.
A fan favourite of everybody's, not even just fish keepers, is of course the seahorse. So there's a lot of conservation projects going on for seahorse in the wild because we want them to succeed. So we strictly only trade with captive bred species. There's a lot of effort going to captive bred because there's a lot of methods of raising them so that they survive. They're quite difficult to raise, the youngsters. And a lot of people will know that it is the male that is the parent. So the female will lay her eggs into the male's pouch after they're fertilised, and he will carry them. And then once they start squirming, he will shoot them out of a pocket,
Right.
and they start free swimming. And that's when they're collected and raised, and then they're sold out to businesses like mine.
Oh.
They're not an easy fish to keep, seahorse. They're very limited on what you can mix with them. As you can see, I've got them in with pipefish and scooter blennies, all with the same sort of diet, so there's no out-competing because we feed plenty. We have to feed plenty because seahorses don't have a extending or swelling stomach.
Right.
It's part of their intestine. The stomach doesn't stretch, so they have to eat quite frequently to make sure that they get enough in their digestive system. And they also have very, very tiny mouths, so we need to make sure we feed them very, very small food pieces. Do we have any food available? Thank you. Let's give them a little feed and see if we can get some feeding shots in.
And what is it that you're feeding them?
We feed them brine shrimp, copepods and mysis mix. So the copepods is the smallest food particle we feed, and the mysis being the biggest. Here they go. Did you notice that little seahorse just went for a big bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we start them on the small bits, but eventually they get onto the bigger bits. So these need feeding regular throughout the day, so we just come by the tank and just spell a little bit every now and again so that they eat frequently. And we do mix them with a lot of other species in there so that there's not much leftover food going on, so it does all get eaten. They're enjoying that, aren't they?
They are.
Bless them. When new fish come in, we go through a quarantine procedure and we make sure that they get medicine so that they get dewormed. This is a flubendazole treatment. It's a wormer and it's a 2-week cycle, so we make sure that there is no worm parasites going out with the new fish. We sometimes do this as a top-up treatment as well, because you never know when the new ones come in, they cross over or nets get used. So we make sure that the fish are wormed very regularly before they reach their new home.
Lovely. It's nice to know that you are quarantining them before
before they go on sale. Yeah, most definitely. Sometimes we can quarantine for as short as 5 days. 10 days is the average, but marine, it's an absolute minimum of 15 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I need to swim. This is just a routine one. The fish actually in here are on holiday.
All right.
So our most loyal customers, when they go away, we do offer a holiday facility for them, so they can have their fish looked after while they're away. So they ain't got to worry.
Excellent. That's nice little service to provide.
Yeah. So they get wormed just in case any of mine are carried out to them.
Yeah, just in case. You never know.
It's not safe with invertebrates though.
Right.
So we have to be careful not to put this in the bays that have little shrimps and crabs in.
Yeah.
Speaking of shrimps and crabs, I need to show you some really interesting ones.
Let's go see the shrimps and crabs then.
Okay. So this here is called a decorator crab. And what they'll do is they'll take their pincers and they will trim areas of sponge, algae, coral, anything they can get their pincers on. They will snip through it and then they'll stick it to their body and wear it to camouflage into their surroundings.
That's pretty damn neat.
If you look closely, you can see he's got some species of sponges on him.
Yeah.
Little bits of yellow in the fuzz. Check him out, how smart is he? They're actually harmless to people. Their pincers aren't strong enough to really nip people, and they're harmless to fish as well, so they're a good community animal to have in the tank. I wouldn't advise them in a reef if you like your reef tidy, because they do trim it up and wear it. So they can make a bit of a mess.
He's going to decorate how he wants, not how you want it.
That's right.
Yeah.
When they shed off their entire coverage, so then they have to start again.
Mm. That is pretty neat. Looks like a hairy spider.
Content, that one, isn't it? So another interesting creature we have here is hermit crabs. A lot of people aren't familiar with hermit crabs. They are a type of crab that needs to wear a protective body because their bodies are quite soft when they're exposed, and they do this by wearing snail shells. So they can't make new snail shells. Where a snail will grow with their shell because it's part of their body, when the snail dies, the shell's too hard to rock down, so they leave it behind, and the hermits will adopt them. So if we take a look at these hermits, I'm going to put these fresh shells in, and we'll see if they're interested in any. The thing is with the hermits, they grow. They shed their skin and they grow, and eventually the shells that they are wearing become too small for them. They can't grow their shell. So they will check out new ones. They'll seek out a new home that they fit in, and they will jump from one shell to another. It really is quite interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
So they'll check the durability of the shell, they will pick at it, they'll turn it, they'll make sure that it's sturdy enough. And sometimes, when a hermit jumps home, if there's a lot of others about, they need to be sure before they jump, because another hermit might jump into their previous shell.
Right. I need to make sure they are committed.
Yes, absolutely. A hermit with no shell is vulnerable. Their body is so soft, they're easy prey when they're like that. I've just done it. Did you see it?
Yep, got it.
Perfect. I love it.
I got it.
He's got his new home. So this one's decided he likes this shell. So he's jumped. Oh, he looks so pretty in his new home.
That's cool.
This one's thinking about doing it as well, isn't it? Oh, he looks amazing. Bless him. We have is the shrimp. These are cleaner shrimp or skunk shrimp. And what they'll do is they'll wait for fish to come by, or any other animal really, and present themselves to be cleaned. So they'll use their little legs to pull at little stuff, little dirt, little parasites and things off of the fish. Oh, I must be pretty clean because I've given up.
They've gave up on you.
They've given up. But yeah, they will seek out, they will eat normal foods as well, so they don't rely on parasites of fish to survive, so you can give them little normal foods.
Mm-hmm.
Great little creature to have if you've got a lot of fish. Come back. Look. These little pellets I'm feeding them is a type of shrimp and crab diet. This one's not doing very well with finding it, is it? Oh, they're going to start a little scrap now.
You're gonna fight over their food.
Like siblings, they always want what the other one's got.
Normal. Normal behaviour.
Yeah. So that there is an anemone crab, a porcelain crab family, and they'll reside in an anemone for protection. They will also protect the anemone from anything that tries to eat it, like angelfish or turtles, and they will pinch at the animal as they try to eat the anemone. So it's quite symbiotic, a lot like clownfish in the anemone. They don't like sharing their space. Clownfish will very often bully a crab out of an anemone. So it's best to have one or the other.
Yeah. So non-mixing.
Yeah, they fight over the territory all the time. If you want both crabs and clownfish, it's best to get a few different names so they can all share.
Cool.
These here are vampire crabs. They are a type of amphibious crab, so they aren't fully aquatic. They'll very often climb out in the water, and as long as they're kept damp, they live very freely, very happily. They shed in the water and sometimes eat in it, but otherwise they spend a lot of their time on land, on top of plants, or on rocks. They breed well in home aquaria as well. It's pretty interesting how they breed. The females will carry the fertilised eggs on their backs, and then once they are ready, they'll hatch and become little tiny vampire crabs all clung to the mother's back. And when they're strong enough, they'll jump off and crawl about their own way.
Go on.
Very fast.
They are.
Yes, they're very fast.
We've got one.
As you can see, they live in harmonial groups. It's best to be careful mixing species. I wouldn't mix more than two.
Yeah.
Yeah. And preferably less males than females for obvious reasons. Several territories, so little patches of land in different areas of the tank, so it's not just all in one corner. And they live really well together, and they have bred here last year. Yeah, it was quite exciting seeing the little ones grow up. You have to be quite careful. They have to provide plenty of hides because the adult crabs will prey on the smaller ones if they can get hold of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it can make it a bit tricky. Cool. Here at Little Fish, we do really like butterfly koi species, so if anyone's into long fin koi, this is the place to look in this area. Because I know a lot of the other stores, they stick with a lot of the Japanese koi, absolutely stunning animals, but I don't really have the space or facilities to show them off properly or penulate, so we try to stick with your ghost koi and your butterfly koi, so the long fin varieties. We make sure that they are disease-free. We can actually take scrapings from their bodies and look under a microscope for things like Costia, Chilodenella, Trichodina,
Yeah.
so that they are free of disease when they get taken home.
Excellent. Let's get the
From the top.
Come
say hello, guys. Come say hello.
And where do you, what Are these
Spire. These are from Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka?
Yep. Yeah, these particular butterfly koi are from Sri Lanka. And we sometimes also use the English farm Hampshire for like the ghost koi. But they don't really do butterfly koi, so we had to source externally for them. They like you.
started.
Yeah, of course. So Little Fish Aquatics comes from my friend who really wanted her own pet shop, or even her own aquatic shop. And I said I'd run it for her. So here we are.
Right.
We've built Little Fish Aquatics up, and it's been running a little over a year, and it's going really well. Everybody's loving it. I want to especially thank everybody who has helped grow it with us, especially my clients who have moved across, and the new ones who keep visiting. So it's really, really appreciated. Without them, we wouldn't be here for another few years.
No, and it is important that places like this stay open as well.
Thank you for that. Yes, definitely. Yeah. So anyone who wants to get into aquatic keeping, building a nice little garden pond, because it's nice having a little pond noise with a cup of tea, do reach out to your local fish stores. We need you. We really need you. So do go in and visit.
Excellent. Okay, well, thank you for allowing us to come round and have a little look.
I thank you for your time.
Thank you
as
for all the
well.
coffee that I've been provided. It's been lovely.
Yeah. All my people who visit our store, do follow
Description. So yeah, hopefully you'll keep going for a long, long time to come.
I hope so, and you too.
Excellent. Okay. Bye.